Hello, everyone. I am Sean Ryan, your Lawmaster in Exile, and this is another week of Who Is. This time we are examining who is a real life person, another Dungeon Master, and where last time we interviewed Ellie, one of our longer running DMs. This time we are interviewing one of our newest DMs, or perhaps one of our more longer standing players, but new to DMing for us. Hello, Ian.
Hello, hello. I am me.
You most certainly are. Yeah, how's Brisbane? How are you doing up there?
Brisbane's very wet at the moment. I'm constantly getting texts about thunderstorms. Karina can't um, decide what season it's in.
Yes, it's starting to look like Melbourne. Okay, maybe not that quite that cold. But welcome. Good to see you. I will hopefully be back up to be seeing you in person. As we're recording this, it is currently Anzac Day, and I will be back up in Brisbane on Monday. So hope to see yourself, Ian, and everyone else up there then.
Well, I am
But
booked on your quest.
you most certainly are. Yes, that could be fun. But yeah, in the meantime, let's jump right into it. When exactly did you actually start? When did you start with us at Carindale?
I started at season one. I think I was a little bit into it. I can't remember exactly.
I definitely don't remember
Um,
seeing you on the season one premiere photos, so I don't think you were involved in
no,
that.
no. I joined because I worked with the Carindale Hotel.
Yes,
And I saw them advertising it. I was like, "Ooh, I have Mondays off. Yeah, let's give this a go." So I
we've
did.
gotten a few players that way, haven't we?
I think I'm the only one that worked there.
Well, no, no. Zach had a session with us not that long ago.
Ah, right. Oh, yes, yes. Actually, no, I lie. I lie completely. Blaze and Isaac were chefs
Right.
at the Arendelle Hotel, and they also joined us.
So then, were you playing Dungeons and Dragons before that?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So I started in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
So I used to think I used to be an avid video gamer, um, basically video games only, maybe some board games, but I used to think pen and paper RPGs were really, really dumb. Um, I don't know why, because as soon as my friend introduced me to D&D, I got completely, maybe a little bit addicted. Um, I actually started on fourth edition,
That is
which is
unusual. Yes.
yes, yes. I came in when fourth edition was a big thing, 2009 to 2014, that sort of era. Eventually, because of the lack of resources, thank you, Wizards, I was forced to move onto fifth edition. Fourth edition is still my favorite edition of all of them, which is a very controversial opinion, and I will stick by it and fight to the death for it.
Did you play any other systems, which were like Pathfinder or
Yeah, I've played Pathfinder 1 and 2.
yeah?
I've played a couple of White Wolf games. So
Okay.
I played Mutants and Masterminds. I've played a little bit of Werewolf the Apocalypse,
Yep.
um, or World of Darkness. I can't remember which one. I've played Scion, which is really, really good game about basically you play the children of gods.
Okay.
So you get to sort of theme yourself after a god. I was after Susanoo, the Japanese god of storm and sea. That was really, really fun. Song of Ice and Fire.
Yep.
I've played. Sorry, I shouldn't say Game of Thrones. It is Song of Ice and Fire.
Game of Thrones the RPG. We all know what you're talking about.
Yep. um, yeah, and Ars Magica, which is possibly one of the most complex systems that I've ever played.
Right. So a 4E lover who loves an alternate highly complex
Yeah,
Pathfinder. Yes, of course.
yeah. So anyone who says that I only play 4E because it's simple is
Is
well,
not yeah
wrong.
not
I
getting
have
the
played
point.
3.5. I love 3.5. It's just the vibe that 4E gives off. Um, yeah, it calls to me. I think most people hate 4E because they don't like their favorite class being balanced with everybody else.
Oh, yeah, shots fired.
Hot take.
Did you DM for any of those, like before you were with Carindale? Did you go behind the screen for either Dungeons and Dragons or any of those other systems back from
So
2009?
no other systems. My DMing debut was for my friends at home. I played a pre-run from fourth edition. Actually, it was called Threats to the Nentia Vale. Little adventure where the party gathers some information and then they find out where a dungeon is and they go off. They kill a couple of kobolds and a young white dragon who is low enough for a level 1 party to deal with. That was my first foray into DMing, and my only foray into DMing until 5th edition came out.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, unfortunately, I had a very min-maxy power gamey player.
Yep.
Ruined the experience for me a little bit.
Oh.
I myself am a bit of a power gamer, as you know,
Yeah.
but I still do it to a point where the game can be enjoyed by everybody.
Oh, how many times have you DM'd for us this season? Is it just the once?
No, not the once. I think I've done. So I think I did 1 or 2 games last season, and this season I've done 2 or 3.
2 or 3 this season? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Just varying circumstances means that I haven't been able to get there in the recent weeks. I do have another game planned very, very soon.
Yes.
Um,
So you'll be making another attempt at that, at the, I don't want to do spoilers, but certainly the Kias in the North quest. I think we'll just leave it at that.
So Caius is
Okay, I famously always get that wrong.
That's okay. You always remember Mitne's name, but not Caius.
Not guys, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Caius is in the north helping the Stoneshaft dwarves hold back the tide of the Chaos Wastes.
Yep.
Registered trademark.
That is a very, very 40k thing. I very unapologetically drew from that franchise.
Hey, if it's good.
Do you have like a centralized story arc? Is it going to be really just focused on Caius, or are we possibly exploring other characters? And if so, what's their story so far?
My idea... First of all, the idea of Caius came through from Season 1's Halloween, where I played a Death Cleric that did a boatload of damage. But
Yep.
I literally got complained at because all I had was Healing Word, and I was the cleric, quote unquote.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go full on and heal a support. So, funnily enough, there were times where people were like, "Oh, can Caius not really do any damage?" I'm like,
I can't do it all, man. See, this, guys, is why Briac was a light domain cleric.
Yes.
Specifically.
So he could throw out a Healing Word and a Fireball.
Yes, I had nothing but heal and support spells, and then fireball. That was basically it.
No, so I did have a couple of levels of Stars Druid for him, so he could shoot out a Guiding Bolt. It was only level 1, but it was a Guiding Bolt for free.
Yep.
If there was nothing else he could do. And partway through, I'm like, you know what? I do want to do some damage. I don't want to be the party healer this time, but I want a little bit of healing. So I created Mitne, the Kobold Celestial Warlock.
Yes.
Mitne is the draconic word for light, which was given to him as most Kobold names are. They were given to them as a nickname by someone bigger than them. Yeah, so I actually had 2 characters, 3, in season 2, both of which will be making cameos. One of which will be an important part of the later season. That is Mitne, who has lost memory of someone and is trying to get them back.
So to bring our newer players up to speed quickly, this is partly my fault. I have a long-standing type of demon or monster that I've run through Season 1 and Season 2 known as the Abyrus. They famously have the ability to remove people from existence, leaving behind not even a memory. So fans of the Dragonlance series, who have read in particular all the way to the end of that, of Weiss and Hickman's side of that franchise, the Dragons of Summer Flame, will recognize the abilities of the Shades of Chaos being brought back in there. They famously attack your charisma score, much like shadows. So as they strike you, they'll also do a charisma damage that can rack up, and if they reduce your charisma to 0, then that person gets removed from existence, and everyone forgets who they are. I gave those stat blocks to Cass, and Cass...
That's the first mistake.
Yeah, and then Ian showed up with the third character who we aren't mentioning, and we aren't even referring to their name because we know what their name is. It's just, that's part of the roleplay. They've been removed from existence. To put it shortly, Cass had one more player at her table than she was expecting. She may have overcompensated slightly for that.
Add 2 more Abyrus.
And this third character got absolutely swarmed and just straight up deleted. So that is what Ian is referring to there. And yes, that Midnight was revealed to have that rather close connection with that character, whose name I just can't seem to... No one can seem to remember for whatever.
Right? But,
funny that.
Yes. It was kind of poetic, that game, because the guild's... part of the guild's motto, at least the part that everyone remembers, is protect without fear or favor.
Yep.
So he didn't have a low charisma. I believe he had 12.
Yes, yeah. But he was a barbarian.
Yes.
So it wasn't high. It wasn't his main stat, but it was. Yeah.
It wasn't like he didn't have it. Yeah, he didn't have any stats below 10, which once again, dice giveth, dice taketh away. Cass's dice took him away. But so it wasn't low, but one of the other characters at the table managed to survive with a single point of charisma left.
Was that
so
Milmar?
It was sort of... That was Milmar, yes. Yes. So it was sort of a poetic, protect without fear or favor. He didn't back down at all. He was the only one to go down. The quest succeeded in the end.
Yep.
And everyone else sort of lived to tell the tale.
This season, you're playing this dwarven barbarian from the north and a human wizard from Eeyore. There's not really a lot of ways to connect those unless I'm missing something.
No.
Yeah.
So this was just me wanting to... I usually play multiple characters a season. The only difference was season 1. So I am playing Darak Wraithward from the Stoneshaft Hold, who was around during the War of the Seeds and fled after Stoneshaft gave in to the Blight. He fled there, managed to take shelter with the Dark Star with Crost's barbarians. Then when they turned their sights on the guild, he didn't want any of that, so he fled there too, and ended up with the Ghostwind.
Yes. Yep.
Who taught him to channel the power of his ancestors, which were his recently departed parents, who had a very strong sense of protection for him. And that's what he uses to fight as an ancestral guardian.
Right. And we have somewhat established from his backstory that he's somewhat connected to Caius. Or has a history.
Yes. As a Stoneshaft barbarian, he did meet Caius. The way he actually got into the guild was a quest that I ran, actually. Took them to the Ghostwind, who were losing some hunters. So they went to investigate what was killing them and eventually found 3 rather grossly large creatures in a cave and proceeded to slaughter them because I didn't take magic items into account yeah, so he saw that, saw the guild, and then decided to come in and join them. But now he sort of works with Caius and the Stone Shaft to rebuild his home when he's not doing work for the guild itself.
And there's no particular connection between Derek and Kalim, is there?
No, Kaleem was just I wanted to play a wizard.
Yep. Okay.
I wanted to play an evocation wizard again for the longest time after playing one in a home campaign. I wanted to try the new version, like with the new spells, perhaps some new feats. I have enjoyed playing a human, actually. Kaleem is just a regular old human. He's a wizard of Eol, follower of, supporter of Al-Hazir, the prince. And as of this recording, is set to be on the hunt for Dumalth.
Right. Yes. He'll be joining Miko and the gang in my next quest. That's way over in Earth. Kaleem, I don't believe would have ever. Well, I mean, you tell me. In the 15 years since the war, would he have ever been to Earth?
No. He's mostly been studying with the wizards of Eol.
Yeah.
And during the War of the Seeds, Jaspier Penrose teleport in and set off a massive blight bomb.
Yes.
In the middle of the palace. You had Jay Carlin's undead armies assault the city itself, and both times the guild was there to sort of pick up the pieces, which is why he joined.
Yes. Eel has definitely seen better days, but it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. So there are no particular connections between your characters. So I guess the only real connection I guess they left is between Mitney and this other third character. Now that's I hesitate to point to that and label that your central arc. I mean, we're talking about you're playing obviously as a player character. You're going to have your own characters are going to have their own arcs. Derek and Kaleem are going to be doing their own things. But as a DM, you're going to be doing stuff with both Caius and Mitney. And yeah, I think it's not so much of a spoiler for this, but I don't think we've seen the last of Mitney as a player either. That particular story or the quest for him to regain his memories, that is not over. We are yet to fully explore that. Is that really the extent of it, or is there, like I say, is there any other connection or any other ways we can expect these disparate threads to come together?
So Caius, I have sort of wound him into my actual main storyline.
Yep.
Which does not have anything to do. It didn't have anything to do with any of my characters.
Right. Yeah.
But now it does. I've managed to sort of see a way that I can combine Caius and my main storyline, which there are hints to in my two quests. My latest quest report. My first one was just a game that I ran and has nothing to do with my actual storyline. But the first game was it was Kindle to the flame that you set in Karatur.
Right, yep. For those who have missed it, Karatur is now just kind of split into civil war. You can't blame Ian for that. I set that up, but Ian very much took advantage.
It was like, I'm going to start a fire here, and I'm like, here's a match.
Yep.
No, so my second quest report, which I definitely encourage you guys to read, sort of sets up the main arc for my storyline, which will be coming back at the time of this recording, 2 Mondays' time. So keep an eye out for that, especially on the quest board, if this goes out by that time. Yeah, that's Caius tied into there. Mitney's storyline is all personal. He won't be coming in until later, as the place we need to access is not available yet.
Well, more or less. It's going to take effort to get there. So the place we need to access is the River of Stories. And we will be returning there. There is absolutely a need to go there for multiple reasons. That all of that will coalesce at the beginning of Phase 3 is when I was planning for it. So we'll see what happens there. And that's what I was alluding to. I said I don't think we've seen the end of Midnay as a player, because you may just have to end up with a reserved seat on that particular quest, because it doesn't quite work the same without Midnay being there.
Midnay will definitely be making a comeback later in the season, and may or may not work with Caius, but at the moment Midnay is just doing what needs to be done with the guild, because he was told by no uncertain terms by Skips that we can't do anything right now. We know what we have to do, but we can't do it right now.
The future quests you're going to be pulling together for Caius, I imagine where they're going to be stocked up with new monsters. Did you buy the new monsters manual?
I believe I bought it on D&D Beyond.
Right.
All of my content is all of my content is digital. I have access to the 2024 or 2025 monster manual, and it is glorious.
And what's your favorite out of
there? Out of the so,
or just in general, like who knows? Maybe the monster manual didn't republish your favorite monster.
Okay, look, I am unapologetically the bard that seduces the dragon.
Yeah.
So I definitely have had a love of dragons for many, many years, even before Dungeons and Dragons. They're just really cool monsters. But I like dragons, displacer beasts. I find oozes really interesting and cool to use. I used a couple in my first game.
You weren't either. I was about to say. I sprung this little bad boy as a giant ooze on the last quest I was on up there.
Oozes, dragons, displacer beasts are really cool, and just mechanically interesting monsters.
Yes.
So things like shambling mounds and golems, which have interesting like resistances, or in the case of specifically shambling mounds and golems, if they take a certain type of damage, not only are they immune to it, but they actually heal from it.
Yes. I think black oozes do the same with lightning off memory, or something like that.
Yeah, shambling mounds, I believe, heal from lightning damage and are resistant to fire and cold. And certain golems, depending on what type they are, will heal from certain damage, like flesh golems from lightning, iron golems from fire, etc.
Yeah, I think famously brown mold spreads when you hit it with fire.
Oh yes,
because it's
brown.
Heat, and it just
Yes, it eats heat.
So
it's always fun to see a brown mold, which I did use at one point in a game. And they're like, oh, it's just mold, I'll just burn it off, and then suddenly they're engulfed by it.
Yes. Are we going to be getting any particular theme with Caius's quests? You mentioned that Caius is currently fighting off hordes of chaos. Other than the obvious, I mean, we're clearly going to be seeing themes from a lot of DMs throughout this season. But otherwise, are we expecting any particular theme or particular type of monster that's going to be keep coming back, or are you going to be really mixing it up?
So, holding back the Chaos Wastes is not an easy job, especially for just one guy, which is why he's working with the Stoneshaft Dwarves. There will be an incursion in my next quest. That's no real spoiler because it'll be in the quest description.
Yep.
As to the reason for that incursion, well, that will be in the quest itself.
As an aside, this isn't on the question script at all, so my apologies for somewhat ambushing you with this one. Is Caius at all inspired by Cenarius from the World of Warcraft franchise?
No, actually.
No.
So Caius is a centaur purely for mechanical reasons.
Okay.
Yes. So he is a peace cleric.
Yeah.
And peace cleric's channel divinity is Balm of Peace, which lets you, as an action, move your movement speed, and anyone you pass, you can give some healing to. So basically, I chose the race with the highest movement speed.
Right. Yeah, fair.
And his name, Caius, comes from Chiron, which is the Greek leader of the Centaur, who was also an accomplished healer.
So Caius is going to be up in the frozen north, and you have already taken us to Karatura on Faerun. Can we expect any other locations through the rest of the season on your quests?
Yeah, so there was a random town, a random unnamed town that I went to in Faerun for my second quest, which I did not bother writing in, but I might actually pinpoint that at some point. Faerun is definitely a favorite because I do know a lot of the cities and lore there, having played Baldur's Gate 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
And Neverwinter Nights as well. Oh, game.
Neverwinter Nights was my first. I actually played that before I touched any of the Baldur's Gate stuff.
It's a good game.
Yes.
Good game. Yes, kneeling down for 6 seconds and getting all your spell slots. Oh, a wizard's dream in the actual game. So yeah, Faerun will probably feature a lot, as well as some places on Eleonora, of course, as Mitne's story will have to continue at some point in Eleonora. But the next incursion will probably be Chaos Incursion. Will be in Faerun. Which major city that is, I have yet to decide.
Interesting. Does that happen to be where your favourite faction is?
Well, I mean, of course my favorite faction is the Guild.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Guild counts as a faction.
So it'll be interesting to see what agendas each group has in the long run. We've seen, obviously, we've seen people like Zaztam and the Divine Order. We've got the Arcane Eye, led by a previous guild member, Kelvin Blackstaff.
Yes.
Who is their sort of means to an ending, which is a little bit So I'm not actually sure who's my favorite at this point in time, because they all have their good, but a lot of them have their flaws as well.
Yes. Except maybe the Western Alliance. Like, no one's really pointing at them and saying they're doing all the wrong things, but they are just sitting there. They're not stirring things up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing anything, you can't really be anyone's favorite.
We're kind of getting up to present day, more or less. Like, we know where Caius is, we know where Midnight is, we know roughly where they're going, as far as what's coming up in the immediate future for them. Looking beyond the immediate future and looking towards, we're talking about phase 4, 5, and 6. I've briefed you on who the big bads of the season are going to be. That is still very much something we can't reveal yet. But you certainly know what's coming on the horizon. Without spoilers in that direction, is there any heads up or things to watch for in the coming weeks that may, I guess, give a sense of foretelling? Any major hints that players should be watching out for when they're following either Midnay's story or any of your other characters?
There will be hints dropped.
Okay.
As to who my big bad might be, where the story may lead.
Yep.
But as always, you'll just have to tune in and watch.
That pretty much brings us to the end of our questions. So, Ian, thank you very much for your time. A pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Pleasure talking to you as always. If this has interested you, if you are a DM yourself and you want to spill the beans, so to speak, do reach out. And I do hope to put together sessions like these for more of you. It's good to meet you all, and good to get players meeting you all. If they can't do it either on your table, because your table's always booked out, or for whatever reason, I think this is a great format by which you can, like I say, get yourself known. So do reach out if you want to join Ian and Ellie on YouTube. But for the rest of you, I do hope you're enjoying yourself up there in Carindale. I will be up there to see you shortly. Ian, I will certainly see you on Monday, and I hope you enjoy the latest little escapade I had planned for your characters.
Oh, I always do.
And Miko. And as for everyone else, I hope you're enjoying yourself in Carindale. Hope you enjoyed your time here. Thank you all so much for watching. And above all, I do hope to see you all soon. Thank you very much.